All right, it's September of 2025, and I was supposed to go on an elk hunt this year, and it got canceled because the ranch caught on fire and burned. So I only learned that 3 weeks before I was supposed to be out there hunting, so that was pretty disappointing. But I have an antelope tag, and the only antelope I've ever gotten with my bow. I just tried it one time, and I got that buck. Um, and that is my other good antelope. So, antelope it's going to be instead of elk this year. It's a little bit disappointing, but at least I'm glad I can get out west and do some spot and stalk. So, my plan is to go out and I have 5 days to try to shoot one with a bow. And then my wife and my sister and the rest of my family are coming out, and we're going to have 3 days to try to get it done with the rifle. This is not going to be an easy antelope hunt. It's a leftover antelope tag that's really easy to draw, and they're very limited public land and tons of hunters. There's 1,000 tags given out for this unit, and the area we usually go to only has 150. So that's a big difference, obviously. So got my gear pile here, running the Exo pack. I'm going to be taking my good old Honda Rancher out here. I've got a torn CV boot on it right now, so I need to fix that today. Here's my truck I'm taking. Got the Honda generator, a can of diesel, can of gas. It's a long bed and it rides really nice, so I think I'm going to take that out over my short bed. Plus, I like to store stuff in the bins. It's pretty handy. Here's the camper we're taking. This is a small camper. I just did tires on it. All right. Travel update. We are in Sidney, Nebraska.
In 800 feet, turn left onto Old Post Road.
A big Cabela's here, and so I'm still looking for an antelope decoy.
At the light, turn left onto Old Post Road.
Well, I gotta get Google to chill here a little bit. Anyway, I'm still looking for an antelope decoy. I'm about 100 miles, maybe a little more from Cheyenne, something like that. So, getting closer. Starting to get pretty excited. Still trying to kind of come up with a master plan in my head of what I want to do first. I would like, but I think that might be my first try. So I need to get water in the camper yet, and get that done somewhere, and then all right, this is it. I'm in Wyoming. I'm at the public campground. Came in here about I think it was like 10:30 last night till I got set up. This is my first hunt. I haven't seen an antelope yet, so I'm pretty excited. Gonna head up and check one of the water holes I was looking at. Well, I've never been up on this side of the unit before. Driving up, I saw quite a few antelope this morning, but I'm not gonna lie, I don't like what I'm seeing, and I'm not very optimistic about it. It is just flat and open, and very little cover up here. And I've seen very few antelope. Alright, almost ready. Bino's set up. I'm gonna grab my spotter. Alright, I'm not sure what to expect in here. I don't plan to spend a lot of time in here, but it all depends on what I find. So. Oh, made it back. Well, it's decision time. One pond back there, there's no tracks in. One pond is dry, and when I drove up here, there was antelope pretty close to the road here. And directly behind me, there's a pond, kind of like more of a natural pond than a tank. And there was a group of antelope bedded like 200 yards from it. I've seen 5 bucks in here, I think, and like this couple hundred acres. 3 of them are decent. This is the first piece I've walked. Nobody else is here. There's antelope using this. There's fresh tracks on the pond. I saw them in there this morning on my way in. I can feel a little bit kind of dumb in a way, like setting up on the first spot I've scouted, but I kind of want to get a blind in so that they can get used to it a while. And I already bumped this herd off the pond, and so it kind of feels like it makes sense to just get this thing set up while I already disturbed them. I saw 3 bucks in here this morning with a group of does, a couple different groups actually, so blind setup. I think I like it. I spotted some antelope headed to a water tank. And it's a really small corner of public, but it's got a lot of topography and I think there's good stalking opportunity in here, so I'm gonna go try it. Got a nice buck up on the hill here with a bunch of does. There's the buck. I think they might be coming. The whole group started headed this way. I'm hiding behind all these weeds, hoping they come down to water tonight. The cows were nervous of me being by the water tank, and they did not like it. And the antelope did not want to come to the water while the cows were at the tank, so that was kind of a fail. But I had a good first day of the hunt. Well, hey there, boys. And it's raining, so taking some time to set up camp a little better, getting some water in the camper. I think later today I'm gonna go do some more scouting and see if I can find a place to park the camper that's up closer to where I'm hunting. But yeah, it's just raining enough to be miserable out here. There's giant mud puddles everywhere. Alright, so my update. I stalked a buck this morning, stalked within 65 yards, and he was quartering to, and I just didn't feel comfortable with the shot. So that was a close call. It was exciting. Had a good stalk there. I found a really big buck, biggest buck I've seen all trip, and he's like right on the border of public and private, of course. I came to a big piece of walk-in slash BLM here, and I found a buck in a really nice stalkable position, but I looked at him in the spotter and he's just short. And shot enough small bucks. Honestly feel like I could get within range. Whether or not you can actually get a shot's a different story. Pretty confident I could get in range. He's in a very stalkable position and the wind's right. But guess I'm being a little greedy because it's just not quite what I'm looking for. And I still have like 4 days left. So there's some pretty good draws with a lot of terrain that I feel like I can stalk pretty well in the back here. I'm gonna get my spotter out, see if I can see something, maybe drive around a little bit and just check out more of this. Kind of up on top of a knob here. There's a windmill tank down there. I haven't been able to see it from any other angle. See if I can get a good look at it from up here. Always helps to take these off. These really interfere with glassing. That's my tip for the day. Always take your lens cap off. Things look way better. Storm's coming again. It's crazy how fast they roll in. The sky was just nice. I could kind of tell it was coming, but it's like, yeah, it's coming. Dude, I found him. This is the buck that I stalked several times. I had him at 70 yards and just didn't have the shot angle I wanted, so I didn't take it. That's the most ridiculous spike muley I've ever seen. Located that nice buck that I had by the water hole last night again. Got a pin on him. I'm going to get super aggressive because I don't really want to blow him out of here. But I'm just going to go try to get in front of him and see what happens. He has a lot of does with him, which I don't like. But if I don't try it, you're never going to get one. So here it goes. While I was really disappointed not to be able to be hunting elk this year, antelope is definitely not like being able to hunt a bugling bull elk, but there's definitely something unique about the challenge of chasing these antelope. It's all about getting to know the lay of the land and using the terrain to get in close. And I love spot and stalk hunting, and just watching the animals in their rut and just learning their behavior a little bit better was one of my goals of this hunt. Um, a lot of guys prefer elk and mule deer, and I do too, but I have gotten to really enjoy hunting antelope. They're just a unique animal, and it's really a challenge to get close to these animals with a bow. I was really disappointed that I couldn't record more of my stalks. I had several times that I failed to turn my GoPro on. I thought I had hit the record button and did not. But overall, it was just too difficult to try to spot and stalk by myself and record the stalks. I recorded some of my stalks with the GoPro, but the animals are so far away that it's not really worth showing the footage because you can barely see them. They're so far away. Because it had rained so much, I decided to dedicate the first couple days to spot and stalk attempts. I really don't like hunting out of the blind. It's pretty boring, and the ground was really easy to walk quietly because we had got so much rain. The ground was nice and soft, so I decided to dedicate my first couple days to spot and stalking these bucks. I eventually found an area that was enough terrain that I was pretty confident I could catch up with a buck with my bow on the ground. Wow, that's another beautiful antelope. Yeah, that'll be a good one. It looks like he still has ivories. Let's go stalking. There was multiple bucks chasing does here, and I got fairly close, but they kept running back and forth, and I never got anything to come close enough for a shot. But it was a pretty exciting stalk to get in tight, but my footage is very poor, unfortunately. Well, I don't know if you're going to be able to see any of that stalk, but I got 140 yards from him. Got blood involved now. Stuck my hand in a cactus. Man, they hurt. Pricked myself a bunch of times. There was like 2 does and I think like 3 bucks in there or something. But I'm going to try to show you this sunset. There's an amazing Wyoming sunset going on right now. I don't know if it shows the color very good, but I think I'm going to come into this piece again because there's a lot of terrain to stalk. And I saw a lot of antelope. I just shot that buck I stalked last night and shot him probably 50 yards from where they were last night. I can see a white belly over there, but I'm not sure if he's down for the count or not, so I'm gonna shut the camera off and go up there and see what we got. Alright, well, buck is down. I did have to shoot him a second time, so these antelope are very bad at jumping the string, and that's what he did. He was 60 yards and I shot and hit him too far back and he went and laid down, and I went up and got another arrow through him and he's done. So I got one. It's been a while since I shot one with a bow, so that was cool. I'll show you kind of what I did here. So I'm parked on the other side of that big peak, and my truck's out there on the road. So I got down in this drainage and just brought this drainage down, and I knew there's water in here. There's always antelope down in this valley. I've hunted it before. And so I got to that set of trees right there, and I was going to wait there, and there was antelope right up on top of that hill. And I'm pretty sure it was the same group I stalked last night. It was 3 young bucks and 2 does. And all of a sudden the buck started chasing the does, and they ran down off of that all the way across the flats past that shed, and then there's a little pond berm right there, and I have a little bit of footage of them walking across this flat. And then there's like a little bank in there. When they got behind that, I crossed this, went to that big tree, and there was a bank, and I crawled up ever so slowly. I saw them when they were about 80 yards, and I just kept crawling in. And I got to 60, and the buck chased the doe around a couple times. I wish I could get the kill shot, but it's pretty hard to spot and stalk these things with a bow, much less try to get it on film too, especially when you're trying to fool multiple antelope. But there he is. I can see a horn sticking up. It's always good when you can see horns sticking up. Hey, there we go. Buck down. Cool. This dude was really rotten. He broke his ivories off. That's my 2025 antelope. Archery antelope. They're pretty tough to spot and stalk. They are very alert critters, especially when there's a group of them. It's pretty hard to sneak up on them. But I got 60 yards from this guy this morning. I watched him chase does for probably 2 hours this morning at about 150 yards, and just kept working my way in and waiting for a good opportunity to stalk them. And it finally came, so pretty cool. I don't remember what year it was I shot my last archery antelope, but I think it was probably six years ago or something like that. So anyway, I better work this guy up and get the meat cooled down. We really like antelope meat. It's pretty good. So one of the keys to getting good meat out of them is to get it cooled off. So I have ice back in the cooler, and I'll get this guy out of here and get him on ice right away, and we'll make some good eating for us.